So let us close our eyes. Even if you feel like, you can keep your eyes open. But yes, in the beginning, eyes remain closed and looking deep inside. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschet dukhabhag bhave. I want to introduce a new way of doing the Mangala Charan. Sarvamangal Mangalye Shive Sarvarth Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. It simply means, O auspicious one, as if we are addressing the Supreme Consciousness who is auspicious. We have been addressing our parents, our friends, and etc. But now we have to change the mode of the mind. O auspicious one, the auspiciousness of all, and that is auspicious. So here in this verse, the master is addressing O Shiva. Shiva also means the auspicious, accomplisher of all purposes, refuse giver. This verse translates that you are a giver of the refuser. Why? Whenever we have a problem, anxiety, duality, and a conflict, oh, let me. Why? When I offer all my thoughts pertaining to stress, anxiety, reaction, my third eye opens inside, right perception opens inside. Hence, I do namaste to you. If we look a little deeper, it means mode and the mood of the mind. We change the mode of the mind by thinking, by intellect, by feeling and knowing. When you change the mode of the mind, first you start thinking, feeling and knowing, your mood of the mind changes. The refuse giver. Whenever I become aware, I can enter into that auspiciousness. The journey of the Eastern wisdom has to be little different from the worldly affairs. It changes my perception from physical to mental to higher perception. The master is talking about third eye. Just eyes are open and check whether you get that feeling or that level of awareness. In that mood, ask yourself how many times you were in anxiety, upset, and stress and reaction last week. Participants should know that is very important. So, how many times and what you did with reference to the Mangalacharan, and you apply the liberate model. So, Jerry, there is another way to do it. All experiences are not right and real. Sometimes people say, no, I have grown gray hairs based on my experiences. Did you check that all your experiences are right or wrong? Eastern wisdom questions it. I gave you another definition of the false. What is experienced which is not real is false. Well, I gather all the experiences every day, every day. He shows, lot of tantra. He seems to be bragging, he is very egoistic. That is your experience. Mirage water is your experience, it is not real. Blueness of the sky, it is your experience, it is not real. All experiences that we receive based on my senses is not real. And we brag, I have a very rich experience. That is why you are suffering from stress. So the master in this, Mangala Sharan, says we have to apply the liberate model. Oh, is this my experience that you are hating me? Yes. Yes. Can you really hate me? Ask yourself. Can you really hate me? Whenever you see the body, you hate me. You cannot hate the body. You cannot react to the body. The master is pointing out all experiences are not right and real. I have to examine. I have to apply the liberate model, and that would help you to move ahead in the journey of the Eastern wisdom. If you do not remain conscious and aware in your life every day, and that is why I just started the traditional way. It's a traditional way of the journey. You start with the Mangalacharan, any Mangalacharan. I have given you already 7 or 8. I will continue to give little more so that you pick up based on your mode of the mind. Your mode is intellectual. Oh, let us start thinking. Let us start thinking. You want to listen to the message of the teaching of the Upanishad in the higher text? Those who are offended, please remain calm. We will prove it. So one student goes to the master. He said, I have a lot of anxiety and stress. I have problem with my honey, and everywhere I see the problem. Modern psychotherapists, expert like Krishna will say, come on, sit, pay my fees, and then I will tell you, I will calm you down. Do you know what the master says in the Upanishad? Master says you are impotent. You are not worthy of suffering. So he is pointing out that you have to inquire the root cause of this suffering, and you have to, the moment you find the root cause of the suffering, there is no suffering in the life. We have to reach there. We have to move into that level of awareness, and the liberate model helps you. What is liberate model? It is satsang. What is opposite of satsang? Kusang. Satsang, company of the real self. Kusang means company of the false. Company of the false. I have lot of problem. I have lot of limitations. I have lot of reactions. I'm not going to repeat, just remember the words the master says. In the Gita, in the very first chapter, when we start studying, you will see what I'm expecting, that you all start living that life of joy and the peace coming from the higher self. So satsang, opposite of satsang is kusang. Opposite of light is the darkness, for the sake of understanding. So my mind is receiving experiences of reaction and anxiety. I did not inquire. That is why the master says, you have a lack of thinking. You are living in ignorance. You are Master says I have to think. That is why I created this liberate model based on the satsang, based on the same teaching. Give me any incident of pain, anxiety, and the suffering which is not guided and dictated by the binding desire. Binding desire. I have lot of expectations from this body. I'm attached. And then I have a desire. Desire is not fulfilled, so I have a pain and anxiety and reaction. And women, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I used to go nearby Jerry's home. She left me. Even after, no, I understand intellectually what you say, but can you change my husband? I'm in stress because I'm expecting how to change my husband. Then everything will be all right. At last, I said, liberate model will help you. A step by step framework. Love yourself, investigate, break attachment, eliminate delusion. Then you move into the relax just by thinking, and that thinking is a contemplation and reflection. Then you aspire for the real self. Now the mind changes the mode. You transcend the limitation which is caused by the binding desire. You embody the real self here. You may not realize it now, but you have a glimpse of it. That is going to change everyday life. Everyday life. Pay attention. Let us go a little deeper. Understanding that desire itself is not a problem. Normally people say, so I stop desiring. Desire itself is not a problem, but the motivation behind it. Motivation behind it. Desires driven by ignorance and external validation. Desires driven by ignorance, external motivation. I'm repeating it. External validation leads to either fleeting satisfaction or more craving or pain, or duality and a conflict. You need not to believe, you need to inquire, you need to contemplate and reflect. Desires rooted in wisdom by the liberate model and the inner fulfillment is satsang, can be a catalyst for my growth. Did you get it? Just take an example. Imagine your desires as a choices at a fork in the road. One path in your mind, your thought, feeling, and emotion follows a lane of ignorance and external validation. Then you will see the mirage in the water in the mirage. Then you see the blueness of the sky. There is no way. Say, for example, I keep on criticizing any one of you. I just continue. I have left the focus on my real self. Now focus is you. And when you are the focus, you cannot be better than me because of my ego. Do you think that? Do you know? Very little, very subtle problem. And then there is a problem. Then there's the thirst and dissatisfaction, and the pain and the pleasure. The other part is the satsang, though perhaps less immediately dazzling, leads to a deep, clear, lasting contentment and the inner peace. I am teaching and coaching for the sake of the ego. I will remain frustrated. I'm teaching for the sake of passing on so that you also reach to the same state. That has been the intention of our great masters. That is where the satsang helps us. Contemplation and reflection. Think about a recent strong desire you experienced. Any desire, just an hour ago, last week. What is the motivation behind it? I give an example of this 89-year-old who attended a couple of the sessions, and yeah, she lives in Preston, I knows. And so I had a session with her yesterday. Look at that, how the mind works. I didn't want to refer, but still, it makes a sense in this journey. She's 89 years old. She is not born in the digital age, obviously. Still, she works on the computer at this age and she connects with me. But sometimes her fingers press somewhere else on the touchpad computer, and sometimes the voice is not there. And she has to ask me. So sometimes it takes me 15 minutes to tell her that you go there, go there, go there, and then press. Oh, now I got it. Look at her mind, the way she is living her life at this. So yesterday was there, and he said that there was some problem in my computer. I got it new, so I called the son of my friend who lives nearby, who is studying in Maryland. The son has come to meet his mom. So I thought it's better to get it checked up. And then now you see the motivation. What is the motivation? The desire. What is the desire? To fix a computer. That is what I'm explaining you. You have that temperament. Your mind in mode of the mind changes. So anyhow, the son started, that young guy started talking about that. I get the scholarship, so because then I have to pay the rent and then I have to pay the fees, and nothing is left, and it becomes very challenging to me to eat the food of my choice. So, and I have to appreciate. So Anne went to her bedroom. She brought out the $50. There was no problem in the computer. And you fulfill the desires of others. Said, my son, here it is. Today you go to a restaurant and eat the food of your choice. If we don't change that mindset like this, then only this liberate model will work in your life. If you hide your motivation and selfishness, it is not going to work. And I was thrilled. I was filled with, I said, this is what the life, you're living your life. This is the self fulfillment. It is not the $50. Again, understand. Desires driven by ignorance and external validation. This is what I'm saying. What is external validation? Did you fix my computer? Thank you. No, go. Thank you. Yesterday, the young guy, 22, 23 years old, cleaned the solar panel and he is 23. My mind said, no, I will pay whatever I'm paying, but I will talk to him. That is also a giving nature. Oh, I saw you, you are full of energy and it took only 40 minutes. So, do you like this job? No, I definitely like this job. I like to do more. I like to get expertise. That is also giving. He was very happy. So I should have to change my mindset. If I don't change my mindset, in thought, in speech, and in action, the day before yesterday, some Ukrainian women who is in Canada sent an email. She wants to attend the session. So I didn't know that. So I asked Dennis. I'll just ignore it because there's not going to be a payment. I have to, mode of the mind must change. If the mode does not change, and we think that I remain selfish intellectually, and in my life, when I say, okay, let us do the Mangalacharan. Yes, you do it intellectually, you understand. You also feel the change, but after that, you remain the same. It's a transformation. Just I'm telling you, understand how it comes by viveka and vairagya, by discernment and dispassion. You have been sharing your experiences, internal change, mindset internally should change so that the real self is revealed. If I hide anything, it is not going to be revealed. But one thing more, it is not going to help you to live into that state of permanent peace and happiness. So I have a false I have a real I. Real I during the session and the practice, and false I, okay. The world is so crazy, really? That is your experience? Because you are crazy. That is the power of the satsang. Satsang is a vibrant greenhouse for our inner growth. I'm using a couple of metaphors, modern metaphors. Individual seedling thrive in a protected and nourishing environment. Where is the protected and nourishing environment? Just start thinking. I'm into anxiety. Let me use the liberate model and see. You have already started thinking. I'm not saying that, if someone says you nasty thing and you say, okay, let me meditate first and then I will respond to. No, you start thinking. You apply the liberate model. Oh, you feel the pain. Oh, you feel upset. Yes. And then that upset is gone now. Now you see that guy has a genuine reason to be upset. Liberate model. Liberate model is very important. Liberate model is very important. And besides that, you start with your own thinking and contemplation. Just you are totally relaxed, I have to give a lesson, so I appear here. It's okay. That is the desire is there, okay. But what is the motivation behind? But if you don't do the practice daily, it is not going to help you. Why? Because the old mindset, all the past impression, our heavy conditioning, pertaining to our relations, our things, and outside in the world will return. It is your inner motivation has to choose which lane you prefer, the satsang lane or kusang lane, company of the false I and the company of the real I. Then the mind says, I have the rich experience. I have a very bad experiences about you. Really? Oh, you have bad experiences about me? From where it comes? Your experience? So I have to examine whether what I experience has a footing ground on the real or not. Mirage water, no ground. The water does not exist. The blueness does not exist. And then you bring it to your daily life also. You have an extreme pain. In that moment, you maintain your awareness that I'm not the body. Mind will take you to millions of experiences of discomfort, pain, pleasure, reaction, duality, conflict. Your mind will remind you, the medical assistant, while taking the blood, you felt the pain. Mind will try every way. You have to change the mind by the liberate model. It is not going to happen if you take the half-hearted approach. I'm going to find that real self. I'm going to find that real self. Liberate. The moment you start thinking that I love real self, your mind now moves to the intellect. It moves into the mode of thinking. What is the biggest problem? The lack of thinking. Why there is a lack of thinking? I live by my experiences. You are crazy, then I have given you a certificate that you are crazy. But about yourself, you see, I have changed a lot. You did not change, you are still the crazy. Did you see? To pick up the main point. So I said, I love myself. There is a real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. You started thinking. Before that, there is a lack of thinking. But why you had a lack of thinking? Because those past impressions and your experiences were overwhelming the mind. So the mind now moves into the ignorance, and you lost it. And now, company of the false I starts. Tell me if there is anything wrong. You don't agree. Challenge it. So the moment you say love yourself, and now, so your mind moved into the mode of the thinking, and now the investigation will start. You can also directly start the investigation, but it is better to start to recognize first that I am of the nature of permanent peace and happiness. At least your mind should recognize it. Acceptance will come later, and then you start the investigation. Once you start the investigation, you recognize what is attachment, what is delusion, and you will find the relaxation there and then. And this is entire the process of contemplation and reflection. Last thing before we share our experiences, our false I or the mind is like a small flickering candle flame. The real self is like a radiant, steady sun within. Compare the two. It comes by the liberate model. Yes, who wants to be the first to share your experience? Yes, yes, Terry.
I think you f- first you have the sequence of love yourself, then investigate
Yes.
in that order. The
Yes. And Terry, what happens during the day? I am overwhelmed with the pain in the body. I forget that I have to love myself. And that real self is different and separate from the body. It is a pure consciousness. And we get that happens during the day. And that is why I have been saying that please, you have to do the practice daily. You have to check how many times you're in anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. Life will change. Beautifully said. You understand beautifully. Yes. Who else? Who is the second? Like to share? No need to shake your leg. You just, it's a friendly atmosphere. So,
I really like what you said, that desire is not the problem, it's what's behind the desire, the motivation behind the desire that's the problem. So that really triggered a lot of thought and contemplation. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
beautifully said. But oh, how many of you is not paying me? That is the motivation. Who is paying me? The moment I have this motivation, then I start comparing. That person A is very good because he's paying or she's paying. Person 2 is not good. Unnecessary. Motivation. So, what is the motivation to give the best? And that changes you. I want transformation in myself. That is the point we need to understand. The example of this guy, 22-year-old guy who just came to clean the panel. I didn't pay him. I don't have that much, but I can give him, and what I have given him is much more than. But it only comes with that mood and the mode of the mind. That is what the David is referring to. I'm just explaining. Yes, who is going to be the next one?
Thank you. I like the choice of the path, the choosing satsang or the kusam,
Kusai.
And the use of it. I'll just share quickly. I had a student in class the other day after class repeat the survesham to me, and almost perfectly.
Oh.
And I think I must have lit up. And I said, that's amazing, and it's great that you're using it, and how's it working for you? And he shared a little bit, and then that was it. We went on our way, and then the next few days later, I saw him, and he said, "I just want to thank you because you were authentically proud of me."
Uh-huh.
And I said, and it was kind of surprising to me. And I said to him, I said, but I was just so happy that you're using it, and that you're seeing how it's working for you in your life. And that is the way that it feels for me. And so when anybody, it works for anyone as they prove it to themselves. It feels so good.
Beautifully said. Here you see the satisfaction that we feel, even our student is not feeling. That is the goal of the teacher in the Eastern wisdom. That guy has reached to my level at this, by this. Yes. There is a great satisfaction. And that great satisfaction is much more than $1 million. Why? Because you have passed on this wisdom. So please do not hesitate to pass on this wisdom. In your family, anywhere. I have said you, our teaching is minus cult, religion, dogma, belief. Now that wisdom is yours. Yes, anyone wants to?
I'm curious if we could use an example to apply to the liberate model of something specific, like whether it's physical pain, as you mentioned,
Yep.
or, like how would you actually utilize each step?
Yeah, I woke up in the morning, so I had a little stretching around my knees, joints, and first thing I said, I love myself. Investigation started. The real self is different and separate from the body. So my past experiences tells me it is the discomfort in the body that is my experience, but body is not me. How can it can be my experience? And then I sat in a lotus pose and I got absorbed into the meditation. I remember only that discomfort because you asked me to explain. Otherwise, I need not to explain. Anywhere, everywhere. Why not? You can apply. Did you get it? Anywhere and everywhere. Here a son said you something. Withdraw yourself. I have to find out how to respond, not to react. It will change your mindset. Yes, we are progressing. I hope so. Yes. Anyone?
Sir, it's like it gives me enough motivation to connect my mind, like not to be relying on my experiences, like whatever experiences are coming and not reacting based on that, but to check why my mind is saying this, and can there be a better way to answer that what my mind is saying. So it gives the inner motivation that I have that capability to do it. So why not to do it?
Yes.
And that helps me to clear my mind.
So when you apply the liberate model, and out of that liberate model, the power of discernment makes a firm decision that all my experiences takes place in the mind. They may be real at a physical level, mental level, but not at the spiritual level. Why? Mind and all its experiences are transcended when I recognize the real self. So then you challenge all your experiences. Yes. Anyone wants to share? Whosoever is left. We don't have enough time. Yes.
2 points I wanted to share. The first one is that we have a blind belief in our experiences, I think.
You're right.
So all our pleasures and suffering become real for us based on this blind belief. So when we question it, we start understanding that they aren't as real as it seems. And the second point, that desires related to external objects are very dangerous because they steal our focus. The awareness that should have been on the real self becomes spread over a vast variety of objects, experiences, people, places, and everything else, and we just don't have anything remaining to stay on the real self.
Yes, you perfectly summarized it. And our narrative, the mind gives you, we see that, the opposite politicians, They always talk, this is your narrative is wrong and this is my narrative is right. So the mind since our childhood has been using the same narrative. What is it? Is my experience. Are you special? It is your experience. Why don't you check it? The moment I say it is my experience, I lack thinking. When I lack thinking, I fall into ignorance. Do animals think? No. So that lack of thinking puts me into the impulsive nature. I'm simplifying it. That is what Dennis is saying. Beautifully said. Yes, you have to, my friends, you have to listen to again. You have to listen to everyone's experiences. And then you have to know, I did not see from this perspective, this angle. Oh, he made this. Oh, this is very good. Let me try this. That will help you. Yes, sir. Whosoever. Oh, three are left. Yes, go ahead. You don't want to go ahead today? Mood is not good? Okay. Okay,
Okay,
Stephen.
I'll go. I like David, I was struck by the desire not being a problem, it's the motivation behind it. And then sort of an extension of that is the twofold nature of your motivation to investigate yourself, but also, like you mentioned, about how you treat people, whether they pay you or not. It's your motivation for what you do for other people. So it's not about the return, really, either like truly like, what happens when you do the investigation or what happens when you offer. It's why you're doing it.
Yes. Motivation. Now you see that in awakened and enlightened masters, they also have a desire to eat, but their motivation is different. So unbinding desires are similar, but the motivation behind it, sometimes I also forget, but majority of the time, every time the moment I take a bite, mind says eat to live or live to eat. Then I make a choice. Thank you, existence, you have given the food today to me. I thank you. I'm grateful to you. It is just for the sake of survival to continue the journey of conscious evolution and transformation. What it takes not to say this, what it takes even if you said this, your motivation has changed. That changes the life. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and so once we have already contemplated and reflected, so the place, position, posture, being comfortable, being carefree, being carefree. Use the 6 neighbors with reference to the first. You love real self, not all these 6 neighbors. And just check it. Does your mind move from the first neighbor to the 6th neighbor? It takes a fraction of a second, provided the motivation for external validation is absent. Every great master say, "Oh, mindfulness, meditate." It's an effortless, natural process. So we are trying to feel that. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. You see the motivation? Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Puranam bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. Completeness, because and felt the sense of completeness, then only your mind moves into the giving mode and drops the grabbing mode. That is the motivation. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be a spaciousness for all. Yes, looking deep inside the forehead in the space and drop Om Shanti there. Check. Check that there is a space, there is a blankness, there is an emptiness. You are dropping Om Shanti with a pause in between. You are not in a hurry. And then you start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into the rib cage. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your... Why? Because you're asking the mind, you are crazy, you always live in your past experiences, and that is why you lack thinking, that is why you lack knowledge and the wisdom to move ahead. How simple you can think in that way. Continue, inhale and exhale. Perhaps your intellect reminds you that you are doing the equal breathing into the rib cage of inhalation and exhalation. There is a total expansion and contraction that this wisdom you are supplying to the mind. And then at the same time, the mind resist, and you have a power of endurance coming from the intellect, and then there is a joy of doing it. Continue breathing long, deep in the hissing breath. Here. Your mind, by repeat practice, remember consciously when and where to apply the power of endurance, turn into the joy of living. So there is no problem of breathing. There is a problem of you all shared your beautiful experiences, contemplated. It is the motivation in the mind. And just stop the breathing. Check that how the mind takes your breath to the normal breathing pattern, the flow of the breath. Experience it. Experience the flow of the breath. Why you experience the flow of the breath, you just answer me in our next session. Our masters have gone so deep at a so subtler level. They have an answer to everything. It's nothing to do with the blind belief. And in that flow of the breath you are experiencing, start breathing deep, silent, slow. You are breathing slowly. What happens? Everything happens to the mind. Think of it. You raise your level of awareness that, oh, my every breath should be slow and it should be deep. It should be silent, no noise. You're rising in awareness. At the same time, you are getting a natural focus. But we do not stop there. What we say, at the moment the breath goes in, you move your mind. Now there's a natural movement. You might have been thinking, it's such a natural movement. You are not saying to focus and concentrate. Just moving the mind, the moment you start breathing in, mind moves from the top center of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone, and we don't leave any part of the mind. You start singing mentally, Om Shanti. You reach to the tailbone while breathing out. Again, you say Om Shanti. Mind rises, reaches to the top of the head. We have done the Nyasa many times. Do you see the understanding? You have 100% understanding. 5 minutes of practice is equivalent to 5 hours of meditation. I'm saying with responsibility. You have 5% of the wisdom and the understanding, and you are doing 10 hours of practice of meditation. It is not even equivalent to 1 minute. Do you see why don't we change? But why? Why again? That's a beauty, I'm so fascinated by the question why in the Eastern wisdom. Why? Mind hijacks you. All your experiences hijacks you, and those 5 hours of meditation practice becomes a habitual practice. When you start reflecting in this way, what will happen? You will say, should I close my eyes and practice meditation, or I'm already there? At present, you are dropping Om Shanti into the spine, moving the mind. And now is the time to move your mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle pointing upward and dropping Shanti on each side of a triangle, moving clockwise and anti-clockwise. Once you find the sync, that is the moment. Your mind is ready. Push the mind with singing. Mind, go into the deep cave of your heart. Shanti. After that, doing nothing. But doing nothing, then what? It's a happening. What do you mean by happening? The space continues to exist. Air continues to exist. The air goes inside your nose and comes out of it without you being the doer. It's like that millions of activities come under happening. That is the state of doing nothing. Remember, what we say in Eastern wisdom is totally different from the worldly wisdom.
Yeah. Fire.
It's okay. Just continue. I just muted the button. Continue. Even the past thoughts are simply happening. If you identify with those thoughts, why? Because of your experience. Why? Your experiences tells you these are the real experiences. And they continue to create a cycle. But the moment your mind recognizes it's just a happening, I have to do nothing with it. You're free. Really? Just check it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both of arms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. It has been, I could see the progress. Wonderful. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. I was thinking about a continuation of how, you responded to what I shared midway. And when my mom says she's hungry, she always says, but nothing sounds good, right? Like, and so she's like, and then she'll just eat junk. So I was just thinking about, like it's not about like something sounding good and satisfying that craving as much as it is just nourishing the body, So like she eats like cereal for dinner and stuff because nothing sounds good, right? She doesn't think in terms of, I don't know. It just is a continuation
Yes, your mom
of
says
the motivation.
nothing sounds good. And first thing that I appreciate that you are talking about your near and dear ones openly. We should be open. This is the group, you're not talking to the world, who are crazy. Now it depends on beginning of a satsang model, liberate model. I love myself. Okay, and second is now I investigate. So you say, Mom, I don't look good. I don't sound good. Just ask the question. Or something like that. So if you live into that awareness, you change the entire course. And anyone's mom cannot say that you don't sound good, including your mom. And there the journey begins. How are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you. My meditation was extremely peaceful. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good, very good. How are you, Dennis?
A lot has been said about motivation today, and I was thinking about yet another aspect of it in meditation. I think motivation is deeply related to the knowledge. So the more comprehensive our knowledge is, the more selfless our motivation is. And gradually, the deeper the knowledge becomes, the less selfish and more selfless becomes our motivation. And then naturally, the thoughts, the speech, and actions become right, become proper and good based on that motivation. So I think in the order of decreased importance, the first one is the knowledge, then comes the motivation, and then come the thoughts, speech, and actions. And my meditation was very, very, very deep and calm and peaceful. Thank you.
It is because the comprehensive knowledge. That is why I have been giving the lesson on satsang in the Mangalacharan to make you clear. Comprehensive the knowledge and understanding means you understand each and every part. What that means, you don't leave any point for the mind to raise the question, to raise the doubt, to become impulsive, to become dictative. Then what? You are already free. That, you see, that is why, I'm just taking the 9th, 10th, and the 11th step again and again. Greater the comprehension. And that is what happened with the Jerry and her student. The comprehension, it touches your heart, not only your intellect. That is what happens. You rightly said. Thank you. How are you, David and Jerry?
Sir, thank you. I'm really quite enjoying the sort of the mid sharing, because what I find is it's like a reset button, and my meditation, then I just go very deep. So today, consequently, my meditation was extremely deep, but towards the end, it was kind of like this rising euphoric energy I could just feel from within, excitement and peace and happiness. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Yes, that is why we started sharing our experiences, because when you share your experiences, your intellect at work. And if the mind dictates the intellect, it will be shared among all of us. But normally, what happens, our impulsive mind is kept in the background in the beginning, or it drops its impulsive nature. So once it drops the impulsive nature, then you go into meditation. It helps you. You find that meditation is very easy. Understand that point is very important. Very good sharing. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Meditation was deep. I think that for me, the hook for yoga happened way back when, and my background nursing. And then when I first took a yoga class, I thought, wow, this is so healing on a mental level, and the work that we can do. It's like that power tool on the mind. And then you often say, we can transform our mind, and then we can transcend the mind, and we can get rid of our suffering, any suffering, and heal ourselves. And so then when we have anybody in our life that's close, that we see suffering, we don't try to, we know we can't fix that. But, and the mind no longer asks, oh my gosh, what can I do? I need to do something. It just will do what it naturally knows to do from the Eastern wisdom. So we don't worry anymore. We just show up and it's perfect.
Yes, that is why in yoga studios we talk about the flow. You just move with the flow. Just move with the just you express yourself and you see that what is best expression. What is the best expression? As you all collectively shared. So that expression is with reference to the real self. That is the motivation. With reference to the false I. That is another motivation. So sometimes you get upset, or even you have a right intention. The other people make you upset. That's okay. That's a part of the journey. Beautifully. Yes, Christina, what you have to share.
Thank you. Today feels like I've had this awareness of living in a false reality for nearly all of my life, and then experiencing the real self, but then the space in between sometimes of not knowing what is real, or no attachment, and a little maybe disorienting sometimes almost.
Yes, but this is a great recognition that I have been living in ignorance throughout my life. That makes us a great seeker. You have been talking about the spirituality and awakening. It is good. That is the right moment. When we recognize that I have been living in ignorance throughout my life, and now the time has come to live in the wisdom. It's a beautiful point. It has gone very deep into you. Beautiful. How are you, ever?
Thank you, sir. So mind is calm, and it's like becoming active with my mind rather than being passive. So rather than being waiting for some situations to happen to make me feel happy, I am living actively with my mind, making every moment happy for me, or there will be happiness everywhere. So even some situation is coming, I'm talking to a mind that's let it by your thing like that. Just be calm and be peaceful.
Yeah, yeah. Even this is the way, I think, Christina. Yes, yeah, Christina is asking something. This is the way you are in a particular situation. Start communicating with your mind. Mind, where are you? This guy is crazy. No, no. You start communicating with your mind. And nobody knows, nobody thinks. If you don't communicate with your mind, you're not investigating. Your mind is pulling out all your experiences from the past, and from there it makes a perception, and then you start talking. That causes a lot of challenges. Yes, how are you, Sangeeta?
सर पहले ये डिजायर होती थी कि मैं कुछ भी करूं तो सबको अच्छा लगना चाहिए,
Hmm.
लेकिन अब ये एस्पायर करती हूँ कि मैं अपना 100% करूं और मैं सबको खुश नहीं कर सकती, और मेरी तरफ से पूरा मेरा 100% हो तो उससे सेटिस्फेक्शन ज्यादा होती है.
Yeah, it's a lifelong journey. What she is saying that before my mind was trying everyone. You know, in the Indian family, if you are a homemaker, then you have to take care of your in-laws. You have to take care of your husband and the children. You have a greater responsibility. So your mindset develops that let me satisfy everyone. And that is craziness. So what she was saying that initially she wanted to satisfy everyone, but now she does all her actions putting her 100%. That is the required. Do you see? That is just an intellectual statement, but can it bring a total transformation in your life? Answer is yes. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom, whether you say it is yoga or meditation, mindfulness, whatever you say. Even it is not too late, Brandy, tell your, ask your mom. You say that nothing sounds good, so including me, and then tell me the answer next week. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can we talk to the 5 minutes?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.